With all the controversies that pop up anymore with content creators, I think it's always interesting to see what controversy can pop up for an anime content creator. And LARPing as an anime only might be one of the most diabolical controversies I've caught myself into. I'm no stranger to it. From the beginning, the dawns of time, whether I got something right or wrong, I would get those "you're just a source reader." And it is time today to tackle, seemingly, the next bit of evidence. So Zaffo Hodog, 3878, actually not all that interested in hearing you guess what might happen. You could read the manga. ... Now, this handsome son of a bitch in question, I think they had a pretty nice reply. I do. Granted, what I wanted to potentially say in that was about how the cum shot should have been swallowed, but, YouTube tends to delete those comments for me. This is interesting. From the dawn of time of me being on YouTube, it doesn't matter whether I've gotten something right or not. These would always happen, and I don't think someone has to go do their due diligence to go through all my content. I got a lot of fucking videos. But you know what? If I was watching a creator and I was like, hey, maybe they are a manga reader and they don't say, like, I would at least watch some videos. This is the first fucking comment from this person, right? It just exposes you for having a very low IQ. Because the only thing that I really would ever read when doing YouTube for so long was Attack on Titan. And you know what I did in the Attack on Titan videos when it finally came back? Nearly any time there was speculating, which it wasn't, I would always remind it, be like, hey, I read the manga, but I'm only going to talk about feelings that I had when reading the corresponding chapters, right? And I did that consistently. And whenever there was I'm going to talk about a future point, I'd say, here's a spoiler warning, don't watch this. I don't know what the actual math is, but it's probably like 60% of my theories are wrong on YouTube. I get a lot wrong. I remember, like, my first big breakout when I was just getting started on YouTube was an anime called Rewrite. And I made some dumb fucking theories. Like, in hindsight, they were stupid. But I made those. And people loved it. There was a brief moment when I first started doing YouTube. The thought did actually cross my mind. I thought to myself, man, the internet's very easily exploitable. If I just look up spoilers, and, like, I'm smart enough, I could just make it seem like I'm the best theory crafter known to man. I'm not an idiot. Like, it's an easy thing to do. And there's a lot of reactors specifically who either pre-watch stuff or have pre-read stuff and act overly surprised, or they say the right thing so when it happens, right? But if you're gonna claim someone might be doing this, do your due diligence and actually see. Because I get more fucking wrong because I'm not scared to get theories wrong. It is way more fun to take a shot and miss than just, blindly watch. And that's actually one of my biggest issues with anime fans specifically, is they are so scared to think outside the box. I'm constantly examining things. Just because an author has told me one thing, I'm challenging that author. But what if? Especially if it's a show that's trying to have mystery. Because it's so boring to live in a world where you just take everything at face value and refuse to challenge the story. What if there's an unreliable narrator? What if it's a red herring? It's not something that you're actually supposed to focus in on. It's just very funny because, especially when I have 800 people paying me on Patreon to watch me watch an entire episode for 30 fucking shows a week. Do you not think there would be, if I was actually like, you know how many times I say shit and then it just completely falls flat? And then when the 1 out of 5 times, 1 out of 8 times maybe is probably more accurate, where like I say something and I'm like, fuck, like, could I have timed that better? It's like I pre-watched it. It's very clear. Like, I think this argument falls flat when someone has thousands and thousands of videos, because there would be a pattern. But I'm constantly getting stuff wrong. And you want to know how I get so much right? Because still, even if I'm saying like 60% of my theories are wrong, 25 shows a season is still a pretty high margin. How do I do it? Because I'm smart. Like, if you are above average intelligence and you watch a lot of anime, you start seeing patterns of how authors do things. Now, this would be different, and this would be a little egotistical if, like, because there's most stuff you can tell what's going to happen before it happens if you have a base level intelligence. But in terms of the more complex stories and theory crafting, yeah, if you're just slightly above average intelligence and you watch a lot and you pay attention and you don't fucking browse your phone while you're watching anime, it gets easy. Like, maybe I truly am just the anomaly and I overestimate humanity's intelligence. I mean, the dead internet theory pretty much says we're pretty much arguing with nothing but bots. Maybe I'm arguing with a bot right now. I mean, either way, I'll make some money off arguing with a bot, so be it. It's just really strange to me. Because, like, there's some criticism or comments where I'm like, I get it. You're really mean. Yeah, sometimes I am. That's okay. But no, the last manga, I'm trying to honestly think. The last thing I read, I can't remember if it was Bleach or Blue Lock, because I forget the timeline of how this happened. When Bleach was initially coming back, I think it was Blue Lock, because when Bleach was officially confirmed to come back, I said, hey, I want to be able to cover the anime. I'm not going to watch 300 episodes. So I binge read the manga. I did like 12 chapters a day up until the 1,000-Year Blood War content. So I've never read the 1,000-Year Blood War stuff because I prefer anime. That's always been my thing. When people are like, oh, the source, I don't give a fuck if you think the source material better. The anime will always be better for me because it's my preferred medium. Like, I love the Attack on Titan manga. I still prefer the anime. Like, it's just how it is, right? And for Blue Lock, when season 2 crashed and burned and it was like the most dog shit production, I read like a good amount of chapters. I never fully caught up to it. I just read like, I think most of what season 2 covered. And then I just kind of fell off of it. There are plenty of fake reactors. There was this one guy, I forget what the channel was called. If I could remember, I'd honestly call them out. I don't know if they still make content, but it was very clearly the most pre-watched shit ever. I'm not sure if they read manga or if like they just like pre-watched shit and they knew spoilers. Because you know what I do when I get spoiled? I'm trying to remember the show. There was one in the past year, and I forget what it was. It was a bigger isekai, I remember. There was a moment where I was, like, speculating, and some bozo spoiled me. And you know what I did? I just stopped talking about that specific thing I was speculating in future videos until it was revealed in the anime. And then when it happened, I was like, yeah, that's why I stopped speculating, because some Neanderthal decided to spoil. Of all the people to claim this for, it baffles me. Because especially since doing live reactions on Patreon for the past few years, like you see my full train of thought, right? Like so many people like learn how my brain works in the moment. But even when I theorize, I literally explain why I think a certain way. Like I give you my reasons. When I accurately predict a show's ending, like Train to the End of the World, which is an anime original show, in the first handful of episodes, do you think I pre-watched that? Listen, I'm pretty good at theorizing. I make a lot of mistakes. But if you're gonna challenge someone, like if I'm gonna go into a channel and I'm like, I think this guy, he looked up spoilers. Maybe I'll take a quick gander, you know what I mean? Like I'll see like maybe I'll see if they've covered some shows that are big. You could have also just asked to be like, hey, like do you read the manga? Which I'll probably still think you're stupid because of like what part of the video makes you feel like I've read the manga? I'm speculating. But like at least that's an argument, right? I don't know. I generally think the internet is nothing but imbeciles. Like 90% of the internet is bots. And then 5% of the people, I swear to God, probably think paying for storage and not having a hard drive is an acceptable outcome in the future. I don't know. Neanderthals, am I right? But that's right, I LARP as an anime only so I can spoil you. That would have made like 30% of the comments calling me a fucking retard over the years. So much easier because how dare I have fun and speculate? That's me, #1 LARPer. Love ya.